Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and this is episode 2 of the King and Coach podcast. Although I guess technically it's more like 1.5 because this was just a super long episode that I happened to just split up into two. But there's no time like the present, so let's go ahead and hop back into the podcast.
Obviously, this is going to be MLB The Show 20. Some of the kind of overvalued, undervalued stuff. I'm going to do some of the NL stuff. King's going to do the AL stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and leave this in your hands.
Yeah, give me a guy that you think is undervalued in the NL as far as their rating, and kind of give me a couple of reasons why you think so.
All right, so I'm going to start low. I got my whole list here. And it's going to sound funny coming from me as the Cardinals guy in a Cardinals uniform. Jeremy Jeffress. He has kind of been the fill-in closer sometimes for the Cubs. He's actually performed really well. I think last time I checked, he had a 1.69 ERA, a .98 WHIP, and an opponent batting average of 136. And
Yeah,
he's only a 69, so he's like a bronze right now. Like he should at least be a silver. I know he's been a silver in the past. I think he's even touched gold when he was like dominant with the Brewers. So he's a guy I feel like is really undervalued and should go up.
yeah, for sure. I would definitely, for those guys that do some investing, I think he does go silver. If not this week, probably the next week. If he keeps staying anywhere, if as long as he doesn't get blown up his next couple outings, I think it'd be pretty fair that he's gonna go.
Guy I've been a fan of is Jesse Winker. Obviously, he's got his tops now card or whatever, but like he's been a good hitter for the last couple of years. He's When he first came up, people thought of him as, and this was coming from the Reds announcers. He was basically a second coming of Joey Votto. I think his biggest downfall is that just like his defense is not very good, and he's kind of more like a DH, and kind of needs to either be in the AL or become a DH if we get it. But I mean, he still was. Where do I have him at? I mean, his average isn't great. It's 259, but in this day and age, it's not bad. But his on base is 377, and his OPS is 925. I mean, he's got the on base, he's got the slugging. I know he's got dingers. He's only 76. Like, I feel like he's a guy that could go gold. He won't be a high tier gold, but I feel like he could be at 80, 81.
Hmm.
I feel like some of the tops now cards can hurt some of these guys, but it can also be like if they're consistent with stuff, it's like it's kind of like that
The
wink, nod, nod. Like we see you over there, keep it up. And then if they do, like, he's still got numbers. So he's another
the
guy that could
problem
drop.
with the problem with him is he's got the Nelson Cruz treatment because his defense is pitiful. Like he
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to absolutely be like an MVP guy, otherwise he's never really gonna be too much higher. He can go gold for sure. They can beef up his hitting stats enough,
yeah.
but like that defense, just like JD and Acuna, where everybody was wondering when they're gonna go diamond last year, and like it took forever, even though Acuna was hitting like
Yeah,
could have been the MVP for that whole like first little stretch, and like it didn't took him 2 months for them to finally get it.
that's kind of funny too because JD is now silver.
Mm-hmm.
Ouchies, ouchies, Red
I
Sox
will
fans.
I will be talking about him later.
Okay, teaser, teaser. All right, I'll give you one more. We'll hop into pitching, and I've talked. Tampa knows plenty about this, but we're gonna hop on to one of the oldest pitchers in baseball these days. But he's also one of the best, none other than Adam Wainwright. So basic stats right here. He's got 2.87 ERA, a 9.8 WHIP, and a 2.05 opponent batting average. Now, because he had I think a decent and a good finish to last year or whatever, but like he was never our ace or our one or two. So while he doesn't have probably as many starts as maybe some of the other aces, he's still got the innings. Like the last game that I checked, he actually averaged the most like innings per start in MLB, and he's rocking a 76 silver. Now I did some crunching of numbers earlier yesterday. That was basically I set certain parameters, and it was like guys that had a sub 3 ERA and a sub 1 whip. And I think there was like 12 names. And yeah, I think it was 12 names. So 9 of them were diamonds, 2 of them were golds, and then it was Adam Wainwright. I think it was a minimum 50 innings. So if we
Yeah,
have
that's crazy.
if we have all diamonds and 2 golds, and these 2 golds are both on their way up. The other one was Corbin Burns, which I'll just say that was one of them too. He's on his way up. Well, if these guys are all diamonds and golds, how is Adam Wainwright not a gold at least?
Oh, for sure.
Like,
And I think he gets there. The only thing that kills him and it bothers him for like the way the show works, he has no velo.
yeah,
So like same way with like him and like Hendricks, if Hendricks keeps having a good year, like it's so tough to get him to a diamond because he only has so many stats they can raise to get him there.
I mean, for those cards, you just got to have a very like high hits per 9 and walks per 9, and even like home
Hmm.
runs per 9. Because yeah, their Ks per 9. I mean, he actually is striking out guys better than like he had been the last couple of years. But I mean, yeah, I mean it's. I don't think he'll go diamond because yeah, he's not that like dominant starter. But he needs to
Well,
at least be gold.
he can at least get to an 80, 81 for sure.
All right, you want to throw one
Um,
at me?
I am going to give you two players. These are both AL guys, and they're in the same division. I'm going to give you their slash lines and see if we can't figure out which one is higher, and see if you can guess who they are.
Okay, Tampa, you can guess as well.
Tampa should have a decent idea because he
He's
knows this division really
yeah,
well.
he's a more AL guy than me.
All right, the first guy is hitting 271 for a batting average,
Okay.
a 344 on base, and his OPS plus is 767.
Okay, so he doesn't slug much, but he's got decent average. Good.
Decent average. What do you think What do you think his rating is in the show?
What was his on base? Is he a good fielder?
Not particularly. No, he's not.
I'm gonna say a silver.
He
My
is a 74. He is a 74 bronze.
okay, okay. So who are we talking about?
That is Pedro Severino
Pedro Sever,
from
the catcher?
the start, the catcher from the Orioles.
Okay, I did buy a handful of his cards. I think he's playing really well though.
He is, and he is a 74 bronze right now. So I would think that he's going to go silver.
Yeah, and
And
that's
the other guy is hitting 206
oh yuck.
with a 289 on base, and his OBS plus is 650.
God, this guy should tops be a bronze, but who's this megastar?
That is JD Martinez.
Yep. I know he just got knocked down to a silver, but he's one of
He
those.
is a 78 silver even.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys. We've kind of had this conversation, a couple times off screen, but the use of video has really affected certain players hardcore. And JD Martinez is one of those guys that's been known that he's a big video guy, and you can
Yeah,
see
for
obviously
sure.
this year he's been a mess without it.
But what's crazy to me is the reason why I talked about these guys at the same time is they both don't play a lick of defense, even though Severino is the starting catcher
Hmm.
and JD obviously is mostly a DH.
Yeah,
So they obviously both don't play a lick of defense. And Severino is out slashing him by a shitload.
and on a worse, I mean, like I don't know what their records are, but just generally speaking, you would assume the Red Sox have more talent. They would have more offense, so he would have more opportunities versus the O's who have struggled very hard the
Yeah,
last couple of years. They're doing, I think,
he's
okay this year, but still.
mhm. And like their OBS plus, like he's out hitting him by a 117, and he's you know
You would
four spots under him.
you would assume
Uh,
pure luck and opportunity. JD would have a higher, but wow.
hmm
Okay.
Another one who is this is another investment opportunity kind of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he goes gold. If not this week, then probably next week if he keeps up. He is a young cat, and he is also in the Orioles, but he is in not a fairly small sample, but I think he has over 100 at bats. But
Okay, that's not bad.
he's slashing 344, 404 on base, and his OBS plus is 956.
Damn,
What
that's
do
really
you
good.
think? What do you think his reading is?
I mean, that should be like gold to diamond, I guess, depending on his defense. But I'm assuming he's not, especially if he's on the O's, because I don't think they have anything. Do they even have one gold? So he's probably like a silver.
He is a 77 silver,
Okay, so hopefully he at least gets the gold, because yeah, he's raking.
and that is Mr. Ryan Mountcastle.
Mountcastle, okay. Wasn't he? Did he just get called up this year? I feel like he's been a prospect
Mm-hmm.
that I've heard about for a couple of years,
Yep.
but
Pretty sure he is their future stars guy,
oh, is he? Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think that is him.
and he is a 77 silver right now. I think obviously if he keeps that up, there's no denying that he should be a upper to mid level gold
Yeah,
for sure.
and you said he's got over 100 at bats too, so it's not like he's played 10 games.
Mm-hmm. We'll do. Obviously, this is my big guy, and I think that it is the biggest slight that has happened so far in the show. We've talked about it fairly a decent amount off stream and off camera. But the fact that Tim Anderson is an 82 is a freaking joke. And he plays short, so it's not like he plays first base and defense doesn't really matter.
Hmm.
But he is second in the American League in batting average at 366. He is fourth in the American League in on base at 401. Seventh in slugging at 611. And he's first in runs scored.
And he hit a bomb off Trevor Bauer yesterday, I think.
And there's five guys in the thousands in OBS plus in the American League, and there's only two of them that aren't diamonds. One of them obviously is Tim Anderson. The other is Nelson Cruz, who isn't a diamond because he can't play defense.
Yeah, because he's a DH, and even then, like he's flirting with it.
Yep.
As many home runs as he's hit, like I think he's got what like a poor vision or something. So it's like if you up his vision like 20 points maybe, and like he'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a huge slight. And even then, like I think I heard the other day, like his defensive metrics have improved this year over previous years. So boost that up, boost his hitting. I don't know what his vision or discipline is at, but I mean, like I know he's got good
I can
contact.
I can pull it up. Like I'm in the show right now. Let me
Tampa
do
Tampa made a good point. He just said if Luke Voigt's a diamond, how's Cruz not? I mean,
exactly.
because yeah, Luke Voigt. I mean, does he even play first still, or is he just a DH for the Yankees? I feel like they just rotate their DHs, but good point. I mean, I think Voigt at least is I think the home run leader in the AL as of like a few days ago, but you know, Cruz is up there as well.
All right. So Anderson's splits for his stats in the show. He's got 93 contact versus right, 120 versus left, which is right, I would assume.
Wait, 120
Well,
versus left?
yeah.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
His power versus right is 58. Power versus left is 92. His vision is only a 65, and he's in 366. Like, are you kidding me?
I know even compared to like his earlier career, like he's not gonna walk a lot, but he's still like he's gonna hit 300. Like and the fact that he's hitting
And
I think 366, like he's proved that he's gonna get on base and he's got the hit. So it's not like he's. I think his strikeouts are down too or whatever. So if you don't strike out,
yeah,
then you don't need to walk.
and the problem is like his defense on the show is a 54.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, that's a slap in the face for any shortstop.
Like that is a joke. Like that's like every time the ball's hit to him, like it's gonna go through his legs, or he's gonna throw it through the fucking stands. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely one to put a star on. And I mean, I think I have a couple of them as well. I don't know. That dude should definitely be a diamond.
And then we're going to pump into another section of n- name that pitcher.
Okay.
These are both starters. I'm just gonna give you the very generic um, breakdown of them, and then you can tell me who you think they are. Tampa should have a pretty decent idea.
Okay.
Hint, hint. One, he has 11 starts. He has a 3.0 ERA. He has 87 strikeouts and a .985 WHIP.
Tampa says it's glass now. With all those K's, I could see that.
That is not glass. That is not glass now.
It is not glass now. Okay.
And then the guy I'm comparing him to has 10 games, a 3.05 ERA, 54 strikeouts, and a 1.15 WHIP.
Less K's, higher
That's
whip, but about the same games.
yep.
So those seem
And
pretty.
the ERAs, they're very similar.
Yeah, I'll say yeah, they seem very similar. So I'm like, what's the
Now,
catch?
now, tell me which one's rated higher, and where do you think that higher rating is?
I'm assuming the first guy would be rated higher because of the strikeouts and the lower whip. So maybe his hits per 9 Ks per 9 are a little bit higher.
Yep, the first guy is rated higher. What do you think that rating might be?
What was his ERA?
3.0.
Okay, so he should either be like, I feel like a fringe gold to diamond or a diamond.
That is no other than 90 Diamond Garrett Cole.
Really? Damn, he's pretty high.
Yep.
Huh. But the other.
And in comparison, the other guy is an 84 gold.
Okay, so yeah, he should be a diamond for sure then. I know Cole, like, he's been hot lately, but I think he got knocked down a couple weeks ago and then got knocked back up. So they seem to love their Yankees. But all right, so who's this 84 guy? That's very similar.
That's Blake Snell.
Blake Snell. Okay, Tampa's dude, Blake Snell.
So yeah, I mean the strikeout numbers, but he does have an extra start. So, realistically, he might be in the 60s after he gets start number 11. That's pretty fair.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and their ERAs are .05 away. The WHIPs are pretty close.
Yeah.
And like Garrett Cole is a top tier diamond, and Blake Snell isn't even a diamond. Like what?
Yeah, I feel like if anything, those guys should be like. I feel like they should be the same, but if they're not, they should be like, I don't know, 86, 87, 87, 88, you know? Like they should basically be next to each other.
Yeah, Cole might be a 90, and Blake Snell can be an 88. That would be pretty fair.
Mm-hmm. I think they're
But
just.
not.
I'm hard. It's hard for me to hate on Blake Snell when he has like 5 cards in this game. So, but for investment
Oh yeah,
purposes,
for sure.
yeah, he should be someone you own and somebody that you should be able to sell as a diamond here, like next week. Tampa said he said he didn't know how many starts, but his ERA is close to Glasnow, so that's what threw him off.
Mm-hmm.
I think Glasnow was a gold to start the year, I think, and then went down to a silver, and now I think he's back up to a gold. That's always
Man, I have one more pitcher that I think is pretty crazy, and then we can move on to the next section.
okay.
I need to pull up where he's at as far as I forgot to write what he is now. Okay, now we just talked about a huge diamond, or a fringe diamond, but we all obviously believe that they both should be diamonds and fairly decent diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Now this guy, he's got a little bit higher ERA, and the WHIP is very, very similar.
Okay.
He's got a 3.27 ERA
Still amazing.
and a 1.023 WHIP. And he has He doesn't have as many strikeouts. He only has 39 strikeouts, so he's not a big strikeout guy. But he also has only has 9 starts.
Okay. Division are we
And
talking?
we're still in the AL East.
Okay. Just goes a tad. I mean, his whip's still great. ERA's not bad either.
He is a 77 silver.
Tampa said Ryu.
Nope, it is not Ryu.
I know he's heavy on him. Oh man, AL East. Definitely not a Red Sox. I don't feel like the Blue
Nope,
Jays
it's
have
not.
anyone other than Ryu that's dominant.
Yeah, he is a silver, which is crazy.
Huh, I don't know. You have to tell me.
That is Tanaka.
On the Yankees? Really?
Mm-hmm. He
Never would
is
have thought that.
quietly having a great year, but the show has not shown him any love. He has basically stayed the same all year as a 77 silver.
Yeah, that sounds at least a gold. Got to at least go gold there. I'm writing him down. I didn't think of that. Yeah, I know that
Uh,
I was listening to them yesterday. That's one of those guys where you just assume that he's gonna be like good, but he's not gonna be spectacular. So like he's probably
yeah,
like you're gonna slot him in as like your three, and he'll eat his innings. He'll have his rough game every now and then, but like at the end of the year, you'll look at him and he'll have like a 3.5 ERA, and a decent WHIP, and he'll win you a dozen games or something. But
yeah, he's like you would think that he'd be a gold. Like, you know
yeah,
what
I
I
would.
mean? Like
Yeah, I would too.
that is pretty freaking solid. He doesn't strike a ton of people out, but his hits per nine are solid.
They're just hating on those non-high K per nine guys. Because yeah, this
Hmm.
to me he falls in that same category as Wainwright. Like just consistently good. He's not gonna strike out the world, but like the numbers are there. Make him a gold at least.
Hmm. For sure. You can throw out a couple of you got some on deck, ready to go.
These are guys still that we think are undervalued.
Either way, whatever you want to, whatever thing you got.
Okay,
I know you got a couple that you really want to talk about.
because I basically just covered my NL Central right there. They're kind of lesser known guys, but I think I told you this first one. But just for the whole like name game thing, no Tampa. I won't even discuss K Kim, although he definitely should be a gold as well. I've had that conversation with several people several times, so I'm not going to go there. But I'm going to name three guys. Two are bronze, one silver. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. We'll start with the top guy first. All right. This guy is hitting 336, 400 on base, a 966 OPS. And I feel like to the common fan, even if I say his name, they won't even know what team he's on. But it's Denard, the catcher for the Braves. He's currently a 77 silver. But I mean, other than basically Freddie Freeman being the MVP of the year, like this dude needs to at least be a gold. He's in a prime position in the catcher, and he's just raking like nothing. These other two are they're kind of like you'll know them if you know your prospects, and they might not have as many at bats. So like they might if the season was longer, these guys would have a longer chance of going up and up and up. But since we only I think have like a week or 2 weeks left, they have to either get this update or the last update or however they're doing it this year. But I was actually talking to a guy yesterday that sparked this one. Shout out to Nick Crafts. Gimenez, the future star for the Mets, the shortstop. I did not realize how well he was actually doing. Now I don't have his at bats in front of me, but right now he's 275, 350 on base, only 744 OPS. But I mean he's more of like a on base whatever guy. He's got 7 stolen bases. I mean it's limited play, but the fact that like he's performing and Rosario's not, like Rosario's got I think his on base OBS is 662 because he was on my list of if you have him, exchange him or sell him, as well as Will Ramos. But Gimenez, the future stars shortstop, is the future for the Mets, and he's right now only a 69. So He's sitting there at a bronze level. He needs to at least be silver. I think he's getting consistent gameplay at this point. So I mean, if he could continue to perform, I think his stealing and his speed wasn't really that phenomenal for his live series card. I don't have it up right now, but just overall, like majority of his stats all need a boost because he's just performing. And
Yeah, his speed and stealing is 65 and 35 right now on his live series card.
yeah, and then like in limited play, I want to say he's got like maybe 65 at bats or something like that. I can't remember, but 7 steals, like that's in a game that nobody steals anymore. I feel like that's a lot for a limited amount of play.
And his live series card, his hitting attributes is a black dot.
Really?
Yeah, that's terrible. Like
Yes.
that needs to get if that gets boosted to a silver, he's a silver.
Like these guys that like they add to the game, they don't want to basically give them the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. treatment where they make him a silver right away. So they always start him low, but they're always guy that like at least these top 100 prospect types that you know their name, they always start them low, but they have their eye on them. So if you buy them low after that initial like, oh, there are 2,000 stubs, like once that stuff dies down after a few weeks, buy like a handful of these guys and they go pretty fast. So he's one right now that I think will go, and then the other one, basically same situation but a little bit higher ratings. Alec Baum, the third base prospect for the Phillies. I think he's got a little bit more time, but he's actually got better numbers. So his numbers, 326 average, 382 on base, and an 878 OPS, and he actually leads the team in doubles. So I think when it comes to including that with the home runs and extra base hits, like he's flirting right there with your Hoskins and your Harpers, which are a diamond and a gold, and he's sitting there at a 74 bronze. So I don't know how this guy doesn't at least go silver, and if he keeps performing, he's got gold potential.
He's definitely going silver. He probably will end up gold by the end of the year just because he's a name that everybody knows.
Mm-hmm. I think
And he's raking right now.
I think he's one of those guys too, where if you jump into those cybermetrics or whatever, he's got like the upper echelon of like exit velocity or something like that. So he'll go silver. Buy him now. Because of the short season, I don't know if he'll have the time to go gold, but you never know. He's already flirting with silver at 74, so it's possible.
They might just give him a huge jump to like 79 this update,
Yeah.
and then he gets gold if he keeps going.
So as long as he stays healthy, he's definitely going to get there. But yeah, those are basically my main three for what was that, the NL East? So I'll throw it over to you. Shout out to Ian Anderson. Hopefully he gets some more innings because, yeah, he's another one of those future star guys that I feel like SDS likes. And they've already been kind of aggressive with him. I think he's up to a 74 now. So he should be another one that goes silver probably next week.
I have another goofy pitcher comparison. These are both relievers in the NL East. I have one gold,
Wait.
one high.
You say NL East?
Or, I'm not at AL East. I'm
Okay. I was like,
drunk,
what?
apparently.
Okay, AL East.
One's a gold, one's a silver, and one is a higher gold.
Okay.
And the other guy is a base 75 silver.
Okay.
One has 19 games. They've pitched in 19 games. Has a 3.63 ERA, 30 strikeouts, and a .806 WHIP.
Damn, that's a nasty whip.
That is a nasty WHIP. And the other guy has 18 games appeared in, 2.12 ERA, 14 strikeouts, and a 1.11 WHIP.
Okay.
But they are separated. They are separated by 8 whole points or levels in the show right now.
That's weird. Obviously, like the first guy, he's got the whip on him, but he's got I think you said like a 3.7 ERA, so it's like it's like average. But then the other guy's got a great ERA. I mean, it kind of. I feel like sometimes it's hard to say because I don't know like the innings barrier that they really bring into account. Like, okay, once they pitch 15 innings, like we'll take them serious. So I don't know where that happens, but yeah, like those are still kind of, especially if they're relievers, like those seem pretty similar. But you're saying you said 8 points,
Yep, one's a 75 and one's an 83.
75 and 83. Wow. Okay. Lay them on
The
me.
83, the 83 is Chad Green, so Tampa was correct there.
Yep.
And the
Yankees.
75, who nobody talks about, and you didn't realize he's having that good of a year. The other guy is Zach Britton.
Zach Britton. So I will say I kind of knew that just because I have him on my fantasy baseball team, and he actually was the like fill-in closer when Chapman was out with I think the COVID stuff. So I was vaguely familiar that he was having a good year, but I did not realize they had disrespected him that much.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, like how similar they are. Like, obviously Green has him on like some things, but like he has a whole 1.5 higher ERA.
Yeah,
Like, Britain is doing a damn good job. Like when he gets the opportunities, and they have one more opportunity than the other guy.
that's
So
kind.
like, it's not like, oh, he hasn't had that many appearances. That's why.
That's interesting too because they're both Yankees. So
Mm-hmm.
all right. Well, I would expect. I mean, they'll probably leave Chad Green alone, but I would expect Britton to go up then. Hopefully, he at least gets to that like 80 gold at least. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like Green just got a boost too, but
Yeah,
like they left Britain alone, I think,
I'm always
or they
curious.
might,
Go ahead.
or they might have finally given Britain a silver, but like base silver.
Yeah, I'm always curious how they pick and choose players because it's like feels like some weeks they'll do like all right, we're doing speed and defense, and then the next one will be like just contact and speed, and then suddenly it's like vision, discipline, clutch, or something. I don't know. It just seems like they rotate sometimes. But even then, it's like we talked the other day. Like I noticed, I think in this last update that they had adjusted some of the guys' speed and base running, or maybe not this one, this last one, but two ago. Like you've disrespected Tommy Edmonds' base running for far too long. And 2 weeks ago you did the base running and you just ignored him again. But anyways, I won't go
All
on my
right, I am
soapbox.
going to talk to. I'm gonna talk about another. I apparently I love the AL East, which is weird. I just talk about all of
Tam-
them all day.
Tampa's rubbing off on you.
Mm-hmm. This is a player who, like, quietly has had a pretty good young career, and his card is, like, especially at this point of the year, is like unusable. But like, he is one of those guys. If you get him in BR at like an 81 gold, you're like, he's an auto. Like, there's no way I'm taking him.
You mean you know way you're not taking him?
No, there's no way you take him because he's garbage.
Oh, okay, okay,
Like his SD, like his like in-game stats and stuff are horrible. But
okay.
he's an 81 gold.
So we're going to kind of overrated.
I mean, he's overrated, but he should be at gold. But SDS, like, he doesn't have enough juice on his hitting stats to like warrant, because he's a really good defender. He's a career 295 hitter in the 4 years I think he's been in the league. And he's hitting 328 this year, which is pretty damn solid.
Yeah.
But his splits on the show right now as an 81 gold, he's got 85 he's a left-handed hitter. He's got 85 contact versus righties, 72 contact versus lefties, and only 69 power versus right and 45 power versus left. Like, if you see that gold in Battle Royale, if you're trying to go 12 and 0, like, there's no chance you're drafting him.
This is. I think you're talking about. Tampa even said this is his boy, Lau.
Nope, that is not Lau.
That's not Lau. Okay, because I was gonna say I don't think his splits. I don't think Lau's splits were that bad, but I'm curious. Yeah, who is this gentleman?
That is Alex Verdugo.
Alex Verdugo. Okay. Yeah, he's. I feel like he's been one of the few bright spots of the Red Sox.
He has, and he's had quietly a really good year, but and he's quietly because of the game time, like playing time, and the Red Sox when they were really good, And then, like, obviously, they had all of those outfielders. He was like the forgotten outfielder, the defensive replacement kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a career 295 hitter. Like, that's no slouch. Like,
Yeah, I feel like he was just underutilized, kind of. I mean, that's just kind of how the Dodgers do it. They have a gluttony of talent, so they either platoon you, part time you, or they only put you in the matchups that they think you're gonna have success in. So like
hmm
this was kind of his like proving point to be like, all right, you're gonna play every day. No more of this like pick and choose to make you do well, and he's performed. So
yeah, I think he's going to be a stud. But, like, this is one of those, like, his defense in the show right now is carrying his card.
mm-hmm.
And I think that they need to give him more juice on the hitting side
Yeah,
and maybe, tick his defense down if you really need to pinhole him as an 81. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because,
yeah,
like,
yeah. They do that
with
sometimes.
his slash lines and as good as his defense is, like, he could be a diamond.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'll get maybe this year, especially with the Red Sox struggling. But if they were doing well this year, and you boost up like maybe a home run here or there, or some RBIs, like I think he'll be there in the next year or two. Because yeah, I'm a fan of his. I know my friend that's a Red Sox fan loves him, so he at least needs. I mean, you say he's 81 gold, so at least he got there. But yeah, if you're telling me his hit stats are not as great as they should be, yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah,
I never.
if he could, like, I play BR sparingly, but, like, he's one of those cards you're just like, no chance. Like,
Yeah,
next.
any defensive guys in BR showdowns, you just nope. Give me something else.
But yeah, if they got him to like 90 contact versus right, 80 contact versus left, like 75, 76 power versus left, like that power versus right, that power versus left is so bad.
I feel like
Like he,
didn't he have a card last year too? Because I think I used him in a couple events where it was like a gold card. I feel like he did better against lefties. So that seems like a weird reverse split or something like that. And now you're saying this year he's not? So like, huh, interesting.
I just think like I don't think he needs to get a boost. I don't think he should really be. He may be like an 82, 83, but like his card is unusable.
Yeah. It's that falls in the I feel like that falls in the Tommy Edmond category of SDS, you're disrespecting me on my skills. Your value might be there, or whatever. Like your card rating might feel fair, but they're disproportionate to what they should be. Jumping.
Drop into your like, why are these so high still?
Okay, well I'll drop. I got a couple of still too low in the NL West. Obviously, we know that Corey Seager should be a diamond. I don't feel like I need to say much about that. He's already 84. He's a stud. I knew Will Smith. He just became a gold. Was doing really well. But like when I looked at his stats, his 303 average, 417 on base, and he's got a 1012 OPS. Like he might be the best live series catcher in the game, and he's rocking a 82 gold. Like holy shit, dude! And he's at a catcher position. Like okay, yeah. I hope I have a couple of him because he's probably one of those cards now that people are sitting on. And he's like 4,000 stubs. The X-Ray himself, Will Myers. I knew he was having a good year. I didn't realize he was having such a phenomenal year. 298 average, 359 on base, and a 971 OPS. Like when you compare his stats next to Tatis and Machado, they're right there. So I mean, he's already 84, so he's already flirting with it. And the fact that like he has that defensive versatility, like he's one of those guys that I love to pick him now in Showdown. That I'll miss him when he goes diamond, but he probably deserves to be a diamond. In terms of some of the ones that, you know, more controversial and the ones that I think are too high, I'm just going to go down the list and drop a couple. We're going to start with the second baseman, Ozzy Albies for the Atlanta Braves, currently an 83. Now, I know when you play him in Showdown, he does kind of have that, like, glitchy swing. So, like, I still like to play with him. And he definitely crushes lefties. But when I actually jumped into his stats, dude's 247 average, a 281 on base, and a 252 OPS. Like anybody that doesn't have an on base at least of like a I don't know, 330, you shouldn't be a gold. Like he should probably be in the silver somewhere. Like but he's got good defense, so he should be in the silver. But I mean, like that right there, he might even be a bronze. So he's definitely way too high in my book. I'd knock him down to at least a silver. Hope he bounces back next year. But right now, he's just not doing it. I think he had some injuries and such early on in the year. So I don't know if all his at bats are up there with other top guys, but like you can't perform like that and be at 83 gold, like halfway to a diamond. Sell him, use him in exchanges, get rid of him. Same thing kind of falls with Pete Alonso. I mean, he's already been knocked down from the graces of the diamond level, but he probably shouldn't even be a gold anymore. Like I said, I was talking yesterday with Nick Crafts. He's a big Mets fan, and I was listening to Buster Only's podcast the other day. Like, did you realize that Pete Alonso is actually being benched because they're riding the hot hand with Dom Smith? I mean, Dom Smith has been killing it, but he's been getting rewarded. Like, I think he's a gold now. But Pete Alonso, 210 average, 308 on base, and a 431. Am I reading that right? 431 OPS? Holy shit, dude. I might have wrote that down wrong. Tampa, you can look
That's
that up.
fucking awful.
That's like, yeah, you shouldn't even be in the lineup starting at all. I don't care. I know SDS loves their power, and they're going to give him his 90 whatever power. And I mean, he does have home runs. He's definitely in the double digits. But, like, that's terrible. That's like, you should be like a Mitch Moreland part-time bronze player, not a gold. So,
And the worst part is he doesn't play defense either.
yeah, and he's not a good,
Like
yeah.
I don't understand how he's a gold.
Yeah, he should be one of those guys where like you like to pick him when he's like a bronze or even like a silver in like your BRs or your showdowns, but he is not a gold. I'm sorry. You're a good dude. Glad you had a great freshman year. Mega sophomore slump. Bounce back next year, hopefully. This one, I don't think a lot needs to be said about this. Again, you're having a terrible year. Chalk it up as a lost year. Move on. Brandon Workman. Traded over from the Red Sox. I did not realize how terrible his stats were. So he's technically a 76 closer for the Phils now. He's got a 5.89 ERA, a 2.35 WHIP, and a opponent's batting average of 361. Now you shouldn't even be in the majors, and you're a silver. Like, okay, this might. I don't know if this. I can't remember if I think this was incorporated Red Sox and Phillies. But either way, you're having a terrible year. You might as well just say you have like an injury and just be done. Because the Phillies. I don't know what happens with the Phillies bullpen, but you go to the Phillies and suddenly you can't throw anymore. It seems like in the bullpen. So
Yeah, there's something in the water because like this is their bullpen. Like,
yeah,
okay, I got Hector Neris. Like he is a stud. Should be perfectly fine.
had a monthly
David
card.
Robertson. David Robertson, who I think has been battling injuries really bad, but like, everybody knows he's nasty.
Yeah,
Brandon Workman, Sir Anthony Dominguez, like,
they have arms. They have talent. What the hell's going on in Philadelphia?
mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was. I had to mention him just because the stat line was so bad or whatever. Now we're gonna go to drumroll, please. The cover boy himself, Javi Baez. Okay, they did knock him down. I think. Actually, I don't think they did. I think he's been at 85 all year. 209.
He is still an 85.
Yeah, 209 average, 246 on base percentage, and a 618 OPS. Now, I don't care, El Mago, his amazing tags or whatever, that shit doesn't matter when it comes to a video game. And he's at 85 diamond. Dude, you should be, like, stats like that, I don't care if your defense covers you. You should even be a silver. So, if he's your cover boy and you want to not disrespect him, then you need to throw him, like, an All-Star Series card or, I don't know, a postseason something. But this dude is not a diamond. He's not even a gold anymore. He's probably a high silver in my book. But they do have that cover boy protection, just like Harper. Although Harper actually picked it up, and I mean, even when I hear these things, it was like, oh, Javi Baez has really been picking it up lately. Yeah, on the bases, taking advantage of the no audience and getting steals and such like that. Good for you, dude. But if you can't even I don't know how much he weighs, but if you can't even hit your weight, you're not a diamond. Sorry. Same team. They've at least knocked him down. But Chris Bryant, he is now an 80. I feel like he topped out at like an 83 or 84. But man, I know over the past couple of years he's kind of been battling injuries or whatever, so they say. But his average 195, 286 on base, and a 591 OPS. I guess all we can say about him at this point is his base running is good. Because he's not there. I don't think he's even hitting for power anymore. So, and I know he's got knocked down in the past, but he's probably going to get knocked down again to a silver. But I mean, those stats, this falls in the same thing. The dude's not even hitting his weight.
And he doesn't play defense either. At least Baez plays defense.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you got some versatility or whatever. That's fine if you're, showdown or a BR or something. But you're not a gold, bro. You're a silver. Injuries or not. I feel like this is a running theme with you. Oh, he's good, but he's hurt. Okay, I feel like he's been hurt for the last 2-3 years, and is even if you jump into the cybermetric stuff, his exit velo each year is going down. So if I'm Jed Hoyer or Theo Epstein or whatever, I think Chris Bryant's contract runs out after next year, but let him walk or trade his ass if he's got value, because he is just going downhill. And yeah, it's not like he's biased with the defense or anything like that, where there's only, if you're not getting on base, you can't show me your outstanding base running, or it's not like he steals. He's just one of those guys where he's smart on the bases, he can go first to third, all that sort of thing. But dude, you fall rookie of the year, MVP, now you're a silver, maybe a bronze. And this one hurts my soul a little bit, because this is probably, actually, I'm naming 2 of my favorite players on this list. That's how much this hurts. But and the Yelich is one of them. So Christian Yelich, again, I feel like he's one of those guys where either he must rely on video or something, but he's having a terrible year. But he's on that fringe line. He's at 85. They have knocked him down, but a 211 average, a 343 on base, which is good. A 794 OPS, which it's not bad, but it's not, if you're a diamond, it should be above 800 at least. He probably needs to go down to a gold. We all know that he doesn't really have the best defense. I think they have him back in right field. So and now that they got this MVP card for Extreme, it's not as hard of a sell anymore to be he's not, MVP of the past, but you're not a diamond anymore, bro. You got to do better. Good luck to you in 2021. You'll get it back, but not right now. A lesser known name, Escobar on the Diamondbacks. I know he was a gold, and now he's down to a silver. But my lord, he might even have to be down to a bronze. He's got a 190 average, 258 on base, and a 570 OPS. So again, he's another one of those guys where he's like a Chris Bryant. He's got the versatility, which is great when you're building rosters or whatever. But again, you're not even hitting your weight. You don't even have a 300 on base, which is even bad. You're probably a bronze at this point. You're not bringing much to the table. You're not a speed threat. You're not a defensive threat. Then my other top 2 favorite player, Nolan Arenado. This is how Chris had kind of brought up Garrett Cole being similar to guys lower than them. I did not realize Nolan was this bad this year until I started checking out the team stats. Nolan's stats, 253 batting average, 303 on base, and a 738 OPS. Now, when you're the face of the franchise there in Colorado, they've knocked him down his hitting in one of the last couple of updates, so they're aware of his struggles. Obviously, he's still got the elite defense. That's going to keep him, but he's a 90 right now. So if he's one of those guys where, our upper echelon of diamonds is 90 plus, you get those 1 packs or whatever, he's probably not up there anymore. Maybe he can still be a diamond, but that's even me kind of reaching when you don't even have an OPS over 750. So it hurt my soul, but I mean, he's probably like a high gold at this point. I mean, I think he'll bounce back. I think he do that, but I mean, if you pull a Nolan Arenado right now, and he's one of those like top 5 money makers, like I think he was like in the 150Ks or something. You better sell his ass now. Sell his ass now before he
Oh, for
loses that
sure.
status. So there's that one, and then this is basically the example that I'm following with the Nolan Arenado. Cody Bellinger. We all know he's had his struggles and everything like that. And I mean, he's basically on that same line as Arenado. 230 batting average, 311 on base, 739 OPS. Like, he's basically the same numbers as Arenado. And I mean, he used to be one of those 150K guys. Then it was knocked down. He's still a diamond. I think he's still an 85. But I mean, like, you can buy him now for what, 20, 25K? So if you have Nolan Arenado at the 130s, 140s, whatever he is, I'd sell his ass because he's probably going to get that Bellinger treatment. I don't care if Nolan's got the elite defense, because Cody's got good defense too. But I mean, these numbers are brutal. So if Nolan Arenado could easily find this Bellinger treatment, and I mean, Bellinger's at 85, so he kind of fall in that Yelich territory where he could get dropped down to like 83, 84 gold, I feel like, and I wouldn't be mad.
Um, I found a guy,
All right.
and it was kind of interesting.
Okay.
I didn't realize he was having this bad of a year. He has been downgraded. He's still in the same level that he started at. He's played pretty much the whole year. And he was one of those guys that I thought could make the turn to like make an MVP push once if he broke through, because it looked like he was starting to last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he is hitting a whopping 185. So he's
Ouch.
definitely not hitting his weight class.
Ouch.
His on base is actually surprisingly not terrible because of his terrible average. His on base is 313, but he's only slugging 400. So his OPS
Ouch.
is only 714.
And this was a guy that you thought going into the year he might be an MVP candidate?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Okay, who is this gentleman?
He is an 80 gold right now.
Definitely
And
should.
that is Mr. Joey Gallo.
Yeah, I feel like I knew he was struggling, but yeah, I didn't know it was that bad. I thought like he started the season injured or something, so he wasn't playing so I thought like maybe his at bats were limited. But I've never really been a big Joey Gallo fan. He's just that traditional boomer bust type of player. But holy shit, it's all bust this year.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that like started to like, okay, he started taking more walks. He was being more patient. Like his average, like he started having like a decent, really good second half last year.
Yeah.
And then like you're like, okay, if he puts it all together, like he is a monster.
I know he's got
And
he's not a bad defender, and he's got a rocket arm, so like his defense can help him a little bit, but I know his vision always sucks, his contact always sucks. He's one of those guys where he's like a Pete Alonso, where you want to make him like a face of MLB and get behind him, and like there's not really a lot to get excited about over there in Texas for the Rangers.
mm-hmm.
But man, I didn't realize he was doing that bad either. Oh,
You talk about, I just pulled up his card on the show.
yeah.
Talk about how bad his contact and his vision is. It's hilariously
Was it
bad.
like 30s?
His contact versus right is 38. Contact versus left is 32. And his
Yeah.
vision is a 13.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I know Tampa even said this, and like I know they'd marked him down, but wow, I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, so like he's still a gold. And like in comparison, like that Pedro Severino card
Hmm.
is a 74 bronze. Like what?
Yeah, yeah, definitely some discrepancies in this market. All right,
Like that's crazy to me.
the next one, Tommy Pham. I was a little surprised because the Padres were doing so well. I felt like the start of the year he actually got hot and was one of those guys where he was like a 300, 400, 500 type guy. Uh, but my bad. He's down to 213 average, 320 on base. Okay. But 612 OPS. Like, for a team that's Slam City and everything like that. Like, and everyone else seems to be doing real well. I feel like this is one of those where he's struggling. He probably needs to be a silver. He's at 80 gold right now. But you know how I feel like SDS likes to do things where if they boost up a team, like Myers goes up, Tatis and Machado went up, and like some of their pitchers have gone up. They also like to kind of even out the talent ratings, so they'll knock players down. I feel like this is an easy one for them to knock Tommy Pham down a little bit. My last one that I had for the bigger names, I guess. This kind of falls in that second tier Brandon Workman category, but Jeff Samardzija. I know he's kind of getting older up there and some injuries and stuff, but he, and I don't know, maybe he opted out. Maybe there's a Giants fan that can tell me, but he's got a 9.88 ERA, a 1.61 WHIP, and an opponent's batting average of 305, and he's a 75 diamond. I try not to, when I look through the stats, I try not to look at anybody that didn't have a certain amount of limits depending on their position. So I wouldn't have added him to the list if he wasn't this bad and it didn't have these innings. And he's a 75 silver. Like, definitely needs to be knocked down into that bronze category. And, at this point, I'm almost like, RIP career. It's time to retire or get moved to the bullpen.
All right. Is it possible to downgrade a whole team?
Depends on the team.
This is gonna shock a lot of people, but even though the Athletics are winning the division, sweet baby Jesus, do they not hit?
Yeah. I can agree to that, actually.
Like, not even at all. They don't have a single guy on their roster with 100 at bats that is in the 300s.
I know that, I think Chapman, got a knee injury or something, so he's out. But I knew he wasn't performing. I know Olsen hasn't been performing. I know Simeon sucked. And I feel like those were like their big three guys of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know like, what was their center fielder? Laureano or whatever? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think wasn't he Astros guy? But I mean, he was always the guy that I was like, he's good, but he's not. He's glove over, offense, so he'll fall back down. I love Piscotty, but I think Piscotty is what, like a bronze or something, so he's kind of is what he is. But they don't really have any hitters.
They just have guys that mash. But we'll talk over the two golds that are on the A's. There's three golds total. I don't think Simeon stays a gold. He's an 80.
No.
He's been free falling.
Yeah.
But Matt Olson, he does have a ton of power, and everybody knows that. But he is very much Joey Gallo. Like, out of
Yeah,
nowhere, he went from being like a solid, like, he's not going to blow you away with his average,
Mm-hmm.
but like his slashes were good. Like, he would hit 250, 270, and have close to a 400 on base. Like, not right now. He's hitting 194 with a 312 on base.
Jeez. I knew he'd been bad, but damn. I don't know what it is because I like the A's, but I don't get to watch them very much, being on the West Coast and everything. But I feel like their pitching just carries them.
I feel like I don't understand how they win.
Yeah, I guess because they're in first and they're like what, like a top 3 team in the AL, right?
Yeah, and I don't like they don't have a single starter that is a diamond or even a gold. Like, I don't. How are they winning like the AL right now?
Yeah.
It's crazy because like even like like everybody just knows Chris Davis. All he does is hit bombs. He has two.
Yeah, it's weird, man. That's kind of where I fall with the Cubs as well. Like maybe they're the AL Cubs. I'm like, all their players are down performing. Like Ian Happ's been a stud, Darvish has been great, but I'm like, they don't really have like all their main guys had down years. They're sucking, but yet they keep winning games. So I don't know if I can chalk that up to like good coaching, good like matchup based things, or if like all their like bench guys, platoon guys are just overperforming. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, they just win, and I don't know how or why. It just seems like it's one of those years because of the short season. Like I feel like if it was a full season, they would fall. Because obviously, like Matt Olson has 14 home runs, so if he hits a couple in one game, like that game, that covers that game.
Yeah, just timely hitting, I
But
guess.
hmm
I feel like teams like that though, like when they do get to the playoffs, that's when they're gonna get exposed.
oh, they're gonna get whacked.
You know?
Like I think that like if they end up with like the 2 seed, like they'll probably lose to the 7 seed, and I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of in that boat too.
And
That'll
I
be
feel like they could end up getting swept fairly easily.
I mean, especially maybe I don't know. It'll depend because I think like the first round isn't the best of three. So like somebody could get hot or their pitching could just absolutely carry them, and they get one bloop double by Piscotty or one home run from Olson and
Yeah,
it
but I,
carries them through.
I would not be surprised if they run into somebody like Toronto and just get absolutely destroyed.
No, yeah, that's where I'm saying like, and if they have a best of three where they only have to win 2 games, they might be able to survive. But if it's a 5-game, 7-game series, I could see them getting swept and just getting cold. And they're like, yeah, like the pitching just doesn't live up to that day or that series. They run into an offense that actually can hit, like, and they're just done.
That about does it. Everybody knows the Astros woes. You can just go ahead and drop all of them down a level.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Coach. I just want to say thank you for listening to our podcast. This was actually recorded live on my Twitch account, the coaches _BA. You can also follow King over on Twitch. His username is King_Christoph300. Or if you'd like to watch any of our other videos, we do have a YouTube channel, KC&C Entertainment. Perhaps you're too busy and on the go? That's okay. You can find our other podcast episodes over on Spotify. All you gotta do is search the King and Coach Podcast.